Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from Pretty Talent and the Waterwell Ministries, and I am back with the introduction to the fourth lesson in the art course that we are doing, art journaling course that we are doing. So I've got my book here, and I'm just going to show you how to sort of start planning this and prepping for this so that you can be ready to do this. I see this has come out. Let me just put it back. Don't know why that's been pulled out. Okay, so we are starting off with this is acrylic paper. So we're going to be doing acrylic painting, and I have pulled out my acrylic pad here so that you can see what it looks like. I've got the Daily Rowney acrylic pad. This is 190 grams per square meter, so quite a heavy paper, or 115 pounds. And this is an A4 size. You can see here it indicates it is suitable for wet and dry. Wet and dry, it's acid free. And there are 16 sheets to a paper pad like this. So all I've done is I've literally pulled out, oops, let me just do this, a sheet of paper like this for everyone. It has a rough edge, kind of like almost a bit of a, it reminds you of fabric, the finish of a fabric, but it is paper. And then on this side, it has a very smooth finish, but this side is rough. And we're going to be working on the rough side. That's the side you want to work on. Okay, so that's the acrylic paper. Now we are going to do this over 2 pages. So we are going to cut it down to size, trim off the edges. We're going to keep those edges as we always do. But we're going to have to cut off a little bit at the top and a little bit at the side. You can see it's not going to fit like that. Then we are going to eventually glue this into our book, but we always do our painting first and then glue it in afterwards, because it does make for a much easier surface to work on than this book that wants to keep popping up on whatever it is. Okay, so now in my book, my planning, you will remember that last time I said I'd kind of run over my planned papers. So I stuck this down here in the middle of the page to remind me that I need a space to glue my acrylic paint paper. And I can now remove that because I have remembered to do so. And let's throw that in the bin there. Now here it says remove and glue pastel paper. Okay, well, I've got my pastel papers ready, so I'm not too concerned with that. But what am I going to be gluing here? Let's look at this. I have a double page picture coming up in my book. Now your book is going to be different. So I am going to glue these 2 pages together, working from the picture. Let me do that, why not? Okay, let me remove this here. Oops. Okay, so I am going to, I just don't want to work over all of this stuff now. Let me just get my glue, because I'm actually sort of doing it, but why not? So I'm going to glue, this is the reverse side of the picture page. And I'm gluing it to the page right next to it. Okay. So those 2 pages have been glued together now. That one and the one right behind it. Why is my glue not? I'm just going to glue it over because the glue didn't take properly. So I'm giving it more glue. If my glue is not happy today, then let's help it on a bit. Okay, now it's been glued properly. Okay, now this side, I want to make a pocket out of this. And it will be strengthened by the paper that I put in here. So I'm not going to bother about the fact that I've only got, with the fact that I've only got 1 sheet here. Normally I would consider this too thin, but seeing as it's going to be back to back with this thick paper, I'm going to find it acceptable. And all I now need to do is decide where I want the pocket opening to be. Okay, hang on, before I do that, let me plan this side as well. So here I want to glue a hidden pocket again. So I've got 1, 2 pages, the picture page. I think I want side openings. I'm sort of thinking here in my head, what do I want to do? Where do I want the openings to be? And I think I want side openings. So let me just glue these properly together. Okay, now knowing that I want side openings, I'm going to take these 2 glued pages. Oh my word. Okay, so it's 4 pages altogether, just to keep track of things. And I'm going to come in with my circle punch here. Shall I be a little bit more interesting and not put it smack in the middle? Or shall I just be predictable that way? Where's my last? Let's be a little bit more interesting with this. So instead of going to put it in the middle, I'm going to, well, let it turn this over. It's going to be easier. I'm going to put these 4 sheets together, the 2 glued sheets. And somewhere here at the top, I'm going to go halfway into the page. Oh, it's not the circle. I grabbed the wrong punch. Oh, well, that's fine, because this is the flower one. Do I want the flower edge, though? It kind of looks more like something bit into it, doesn't it? Oh, dearie me, when you start off like that. Okay, this is the circle punch. Yeah, I think I like that better. I suppose it's not the worst, but that kind of looked more like someone had taken a bite. Oh, the glue's getting stuck in the punch. Someone had taken a bite out of my papers. So it's maybe a bit deep in. Ugh, not too much. Not too much. Okay, so this will be a pocket. And I am going to glue this down now. Just dump over that one. And this single sheet is going to be glued down. So that I have a pocket going here, a side pocket. I'm gluing my pages together here at the bottom. I need to remove that glue. Okay. That page will be coming in there. This will be a pocket. So again, I'm going to do the same thing. Just there. What am I thinking? I am being absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to glue this side. I swear my head is not screwed on right. Oh, yeah. I don't want glue on the acrylic paint either. Okay. I don't know. I'm just going to leave this mistake in because you know what? On the best of days, sometimes you're not at your best. Okay, I really need to let this dry first before I continue. I'm just wiping the glue off. Luckily, the glue is also having a bad day, so... Okay, don't want these glued either. I'm gluing all the wrong sides together. It should be the top and bottom that's getting glued. Oh my goodness, just stay there. I don't want to work over my papers. I should have glued the top and the bottom and leave the side opening, but I got confused with what I wanted open, and even after I've marked it, so there you go. That happened. Okay, while I'm waiting for that to dry, let me glue the next 2 pages together, because they will need to be glued together. Can I tell you that I'm very annoyed with myself right now for having done that? Well, was a quick recovery. Fortunately, I figured out what I'd done wrong. Okay. So then, this pastel paper is going to be cut down to size and it's going to be glued in here. So that's the idea there. Yeah, it says glue hidden pocket. I can toss that. This then says remove and glue hidden pastel paper. So now I need to rethink, and this is where that fix comes in from where I've run over. So I will not remove all of these now. I will glue 2 of these together. To form a backing. Sure, I wonder if I should. It's going to get very thick. I can just glue the 2 pastel papers with 1 page in between. I think that is better. So I am then going to remove all of this. Now what have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 pages that I'm taking out. Let me double check myself before I take them out. Glue pastel paper. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. If I'm not going to turn this into a pocket, I might as well do the same thing and remove that one as well. Okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's remove them. I'm removing 7 now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll keep these. I've got a little thing going here to keep them in. A plastic sleeve where I put all the extras in. So anyways, okay. So this paper is going to come in here. I know this is very dirty. Don't worry about that. That side is the side I'm going to work on. That's clean enough. Then this pastel paper, oh, there's another one of the sheets I should have put away, is going to come in here. Okay. Again, will need to be trimmed down. So I can remove this. Pastel paper is going to be glued there. Then it says glue a pocket here. And I've got 1, 2, 3. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to take the last one of the 3. I'm going to apply glue. Okay, I'm going to glue that down. And then I need to decide what kind of pocket do I want here. Oh, I like this. Says 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo ho ho, and a bottle of rum. It's that familiar quote. And I like that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to retain it. So I can fold it sideways, like this. Or I can fold it like this. Well, actually, like this. What do I want to do? I don't like it when I am indecisive. So let me fold it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down here. Just to make sure it stays intact. And then I'm going to glue the side and the bottom only. And then I've got a little pocket coming in here like this. Now I might come and decorate this a little bit still. Oh, I'm not going to. I think we'll do this with the acrylic paint. Be a nice little extra to do with the acrylic paint. Yes. Yes, I have a great idea for doing this. Okay, so let's leave that as is. Then, that's the glued pocket. I can toss that now. Let's just go back to this and make sure that it's still sticking in the right places and not the wrong places. See why I'm going back? Because it's very much sticking in the wrong places now. Yeah, that's my fault. Okay. We'll go back to that just now and fix it. But anyways, okay, so this thing says remove and then glue tea bag decoupage, but we're not going to do tea bag decoupage. We've sort of run away from that. We'll do a tea bag decoupage a little later on. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this paper, which is from this paper pad. It's Concept 200. It's a prime art paper pad, 200 grams, and it's for all dry media, a heavyweight drawing cartridge. So all I've done is literally take the sheets out, a sheet for every person, and that is going to be glued in here. Cut to size again, of course, and we're going to glue it in here. Now, we're going to have to remove papers and things again. Let's go back first. Let's go back first. We wanted this paper here. Right. We need to glue top and bottom only. My goodness. My glue is seeping out here. Gotta catch it. Because if it, yeah, it's seeping out there as well. Don't want it to glue my papers together. Okay, now I have got to, I've got to put something in here, and I'm going to put this in here to keep it open where it needs to be open, and glued where it needs to be glued. Okay, right, turn the page. Same thing over here. Top and bottom only. So we have a side pocket going here. Okay, so we're going to be getting these color wheels in this lesson. And I'm just going to slide the color wheel in here to prevent this wrongly glued side from sticking. Okay. I am going to have to, that will have to be done later. My lesson 4 tab that I will want to put in here will have to come in much later. I've got a prepared tab that I've punched out in one of the previous lessons. I'll have to write lesson 4 and whatever. But I'm going to put it in here so that I remember to put it in there. Okay, that page goes there. That one then is glued together for a side pocket. This one comes in here. These two will be back to back with a page in between. This is back to back with that one. Here we've got a pocket that we will do something with the acrylic paint. And we're getting a set of stencils. We want to use that probably over here. So I'll not stick it in there. And then we are on this last page. And this page is the prime art page. Now we've got to work from this side forward. So here I said glue, tea bag decoupage, which we're not doing, and pocket hidden. Pocket hidden, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages when we do a hidden pocket. So that's fair enough. We've got the right amount of pages there. So these can be removed. Okay, fantastic. So 1. Oh, I'm losing a pretty picture. I'm definitely going to keep it so we can possibly do something with that later on. 2, 3. Oh, I'm in David Copperfield. There's a nice picture as well. 4. There's a nice blank page. 5. 6, 7, 8. So in the planning for my book, I'm losing a lot of pages today. And that actually makes me quite happy because my book is starting to flop open terribly like this. So if I can take out a couple of pages, that's a really good thing at this point in the game. Okay, now let's work with this then that is left. We are going to be, well, I like to work from the wrong side with this. Okay. So this is going to be a hidden pocket. Okay. And this is going to be what? Glue pocket. 1, 2, 3. I think I counted this. Oh, I know what I wanted to do here. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay. That's the next lesson though. Well, we could make it part of this one. Okay, so I'm gluing 2 pages together here. Then I don't need 3, I can only do 2. 2 should be enough. Okay, we can remove that one as well. Okay, and I'm going to glue these 2 pages together. The one with the picture and the one directly after it. I'll show you what I've got in mind here. We're going to do a pocket like this. Okay, so this one, let's make it a top pocket again. Where's my punch? Circle punch. Punch it there at the top. Okay. And then we are going to glue together these 2 pages. And that one opens at the top, so now I do bottom and side, leave the top open. For crying out loud, don't make the same mistake as before. Okay, this page, no seepage, don't want the glue seeping through. Okay, this page is going to be glued in here, that's where that one goes. This one is going to get a pocket, and this will be removed. That's the next lesson. I will do this pocket because we are sort of on this one right now. But I think, let me first cut everything to size, and then I'll come back. I'll pause the video and come back to you on this to show you what I've done. Oh, I haven't shown you. We're getting these dip pens, ink dip pens, fountain pens. And that's what we're going to be working with on this, and that's why. So we're going to work with ink, we're going to work with acrylic, we're going to work with pastels. That's what this lesson is about. That's what we're looking forward to. But I will come back to you just now. Let me just get things together, and then I can show you what to do. Okay, I am back, and I've done quite a bit of preparation. So let me quickly talk you through what we have done so far. So I have written lesson 4 on both sides of this tag, which I'm getting ready to use. I've also taken the offcuts from this acrylic paper that I've got, and I have cut it into 4 pieces, and I've decided to journal the Bible verses we're working with on these 4 pieces. So I've rounded the corners, I've inked the edges, and this first one, the acrylic painting one, gets the verse, Acts 1 verse 8. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, and you will be my witnesses, telling people about me everywhere, to the ends of the earth. It says Jerusalem, Samaria, and so forth. I ran out of space and just sort of put an ellipse and said to the ends of the earth. Because for us, it's not necessarily Jerusalem and Samaria and so on. For us, it's wherever we are at and wherever we are sent. And so the names of the places is of less importance than the fact that we should be willing to go. I've also rounded the corners of this page and inked the edges, so that when I'm eventually ready to stick this in, glue this in, it will be ready to go. I will then decide what I want to do with this. Do I want to use this as a flip out, sort of attach it on the side? Do I want to stick it down on the painting? I don't know yet. So for the time being, that's as far as I go with this. Now I have taken my color wheel out of its plastic packaging, and the color wheel is going to slide into one of these pockets that I've created, and that's where it's going to live. It's part of my journaling process, and I'm going to be printing us some info on how to use the color wheel. I will talk you through it once I've got the printouts, and that's what I want to slide into this pocket. Just sort of thinking ahead of that. I haven't printed that yet. I've got it all ready to print, but I haven't actually printed it yet. So I'll come back to that, and then I'll talk about the color wheel. Now, this page, this is, I believe this is Murano pastel paper. This is a huge A2 size paper that I've cut into smaller bits. And I believe it's the Murano pastel paper that I've used. But I stand to be corrected. When we get to this, I'll talk a little bit about the choice for pastels and so forth. But this is going to be Acts 1 verse 14a. They all met together and were constantly united in prayer. So we'll talk a little bit about this when we get to it. For now, just so that you can prepare. Then this was I don't know how you say this, Metantis pastel paper. Or is this Murano and that's Metantis? I don't know. I've used one of each. Any case, so either or. Really good pastel paper. And again, it's an A2 sheet that I've cut down to size. So Acts 2 verse 4. And everyone present was filled with the Holy Spirit and began speaking in other languages as the Holy Spirit gave them this ability. You can see there's a line running through all of this. Okay, so then I have unpacked my stencil set and I've slid that into this pocket. Now these are journaling stencils. It's a journaling stencil set with some very cute, let me do it on this paper where you can see it. Some very cute designs specifically, and the edges, don't miss the edges as well, specifically aimed at journaling. And so I figured, we're on lesson 4 already of the journaling process. It's time we get to this. Now you will see some of these will need to be weeded. Normally when you buy stencils, they're not 100% weeded, and so you need to check that. I saw this one as well as a thing there, oops, that needs to be weeded still. And so maybe not a bad idea to put them down on your paper like this and just check them to see if there are any bits that need to be weeded. There's a toe that's not weeded. Okay. Oh dear. You can see this is a lovely, I think it's 8 stencils in total. The 4 has not been weeded. We need to weed the 4. The 9 has not been weeded. The X has not been weeded. The O is not completely weeded. Okay. Looks right now. Okay, there's quite a bit that's not weeded here, so let's do that. And take the time to do this, because if you try to stencil and then you've missed the weeding, your stenciling doesn't come out proper. You need to lift the stencil in the middle of a stenciling process and it becomes a bit of a mess. So always take the time to weed your stencils beforehand. I should have done this off camera. I didn't think about it, and that's on me. Okay. They normally will just pop out, but if they don't, and on an odd occasion I found that they don't, then I either use a craft knife or, better yet, a pair of scissors with really fine points. And just weed them with that. But normally they just pop out. Okay, I think that's it. So as you can see, a really cute stencil set for journaling. And it is going to live right here. I'm going to leave it there for the moment. I didn't ink this little girl. This is my surprise picture that I found in my parcel. Now you will know with each of the lessons, we include a little surprise picture to deal with. I have a really upset girl here. Let me just ink the edges. I've rounded the corners, but I forgot to ink the edges on this one. I'm going to use her. I think she's going to sit right there. And she's a bit fed up. And as I was dealing with her and looking at this very grim picture, it's the last of the Treasure Island pictures that I've got to deal with. And it's once again a really, really grim picture with men with shovels and things standing around. And here's a skeleton lying on the grave. Now, I assume this guy being a skeleton, that they've maybe just dug him up. I don't know. It's been a couple of years since I read the book, so I can't remember. But in any case, and I decided to use this girl here because right now, this period in my life currently, I am dealing with a couple of things which has me feeling like this girl here. I'm a Bible study leader, and I've been a Bible study leader for long periods of my life, on and off. depending on whether I'm traveling or not. But when I'm not traveling, I lead a Bible study group, and I'm quite serious about Bible study. I think you guys would have picked that up already. But currently, one of my long-standing Bible study members, someone that should be in ministry already, has decided he does not believe in Jesus any longer. He doesn't believe, and I'm not going to go with what he believes and doesn't believe, but honestly, his God is a made-up God. Might as well make himself an idol. It's the same difference. And I've got some other Bible study members who's just recently invited me to a party thrown by them where I was offered drugs. Not by them, but by one of the partygoers. It's the first time in my life I was offered drugs. And people drank themselves into a stupor. Oh, this was weed, marijuana. And now someone out there is going to say it's not so serious. It is. It's all that serious. And again, these are people who are actually in ministry, as musicians, leading the praise and worship. How do you lead people in praise and worship? I don't know. And so I feel like this little girl here, despondent. I'm sitting over dead bones, dry bones, like Ezekiel encountered in the valley. And this should be God's army, marching forth, going to the ends of the world, spreading the gospel, meeting in houses, sharing the supper of the Lord, not weed. And I feel like this girl. But do you see her sitting there in her dancing dress? You see, she's out there praising God, in my opinion, because she's for me to deal with. She's out there praising God. And that's me. I'm ready. I'm dressed. I'm ready for battle. And battle is not battle uniform. It's not a soldier's uniform. Battle is prayer. So I'm dressed for this battle. And I will prophesy over those dead bones. And they shall come back to life. And I will stand upon God's word. And if you see me sitting down like that, I've just had my wind punched out. But I'm getting right up. And I'm fighting this battle because it's a good battle to fight. Now, what are we going to do here? Let's talk about that quickly. We are going to be journaling this with our oh my goodness. I'm just looking here in my pocket here where I've got all the leftover pieces. I've got this serviette right at the top. It says, been good all year? Silly question. And I'm going to incorporate this now as well. So let me show you what I do with this. No, I don't want to use the glue. I want to use a decoupage medium. I've got acrylic gel medium. I'm going to cut this off right here. She'll sit there. And I'm going to cut off the bottom here. Yep, that should do it. Well, not toss that yet, but I assume that will be tossed just now. Okay, I think I don't want to have my paper in there when I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to decoupage this, and then we will continue with this in, well, a little later, I suppose. But for now, I'm gonna bring my little girl in here, and I'm gonna decoupage her in place right here. Now, Michael, you need to move up. Why did I put it so straight? Normally I work at angles, but okay. So I'm going to have to lift her up just now because the decoupage will glue all of this together. And I'm going to have to do something to prevent that. But let me quickly put my serviette in place as well. It is, I'm using Dala acrylic gel medium. I can't remember whether I said it now. My mind's could have been thinking other things while I'm speaking. So, yes, anyways. Okay, so I'm going to leave that be. But now I need to do something to keep this propped up so it doesn't stick together. And what I'm going to do is put my scissors in there to prop it up. Okay, now this will go in there eventually, but I'm going to just leave it there for the moment. Nope, I'm going to have to stop and let this dry. Can't actually continue until it is dry. Okay, so seeing as I can't continue on the other side, let me continue on this side. Why not? What is it that I want to do here? Let me show you. I've now got a color scheme going of green, like the greens picking each other up. And pink, she's got pink and there's more pink there. So green and pink is my color scheme. And I'm going to, oh dear. I'm going to use a light green acrylic paint. A light green, I don't know why I'm running around this way. Okay, I'm going to do this. Should I do pink? Should I rather do pink? I am catching myself thinking do I have a nice pink? Oh, that's very bright. I don't think I want that bright. Sure, medium magenta. It's not much more paint. I don't think it's quite as bright as this one. That's a poor quality acrylic paint in any case. So I'm going with a Bianjo, I don't know, you say that, medium magenta. And I'm just going to plonk it right on this. Now, what I can tell you is, and this has not arrived yet. This is still on its way. It's been ordered. Is every person is going to be getting a set of paint brushes in the journaling parcel. As well as an acrylic. Yeah, I think I'm going to go right over her. Let's incorporate her a little bit more. As well as an acrylic. Oh dear. Let's remove that. A painter's palette. An acrylic painter's palette. Which I think is going to be very neat, very nice. Okay, I am creating a bit of a frame here, just tying the two pages together. And I'm not too concerned about working extremely neatly, you will see. I could have blocked this off if I'd wanted to, and I'm not bothering to block anything off. Matter of fact, let's purposefully go into the painting a little bit, into the drawing. Okay, I think that's nicely incorporated. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, let this dry. I think it's fine. Let this dry, and then I'll come back and we can talk a little bit more about this and what is to follow. What I did not want to do is paint my big papers, but okay, those are not a big deal, so we'll get to that. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video first. Let me sound like I'm stuttering. I'm gonna stop the video first, and I will come back when this is all dry. Okay, see you just now. Okay, I am back, and I've done quite a bit while I was waiting for the paint to dry. So let me quickly show you. I've printed all the pages that needed printing, for one thing. This one is stuck a little here. Wiggle it loose. Okay. So this is now, well, dry enough. I'm not going to say it's entirely dry, but it's pretty dry. And that's enough for us to continue working with. Okay, so let me show you quickly what I've done. I have, in the meantime, printed the color worksheets that need to slide in here, and I have finished preparing 3 of them. I might have to fold them. Okay, we'll see just now when I actually put them in, because everything is still a little bit wet. I'm really rushing things a bit. I have left the last one, so I am using misprinted paper to do this on, and literally I folded all of them like this. And it's not necessarily folding in half, it's just sort of folding over according to the guidelines of the pictures. I should have left this one standing on its edge. Okay, and then I am gluing the 2 together. Now there are 8 of these explanation pages. They're not a booklet. I pulled them together from different sources, but in any case, so it's all on color theory. So I've glued them together like that, and then I am allowing the largest one to guide me. Now honestly, with the others I needed to draw lines, but with this one I'm sort of looking at it against the light. Yeah, I have to draw a line here, but I think the rest of the lines will be unnecessary, so I'll have to cut there. But the rest of them, I'll be able to use these guidelines to cut. And I wasn't that fortunate with the others. I needed to draw lines all around, cutting lines. So then cut them smaller. On the given guidelines. Still good. I really don't want to do all of that on. Is this one going to fit in? It will. On camera. I wanted to sort of do the majority of that off camera so I don't bore the heck out of you with cutting and pasting. Okay, so that's what I did. Then I came in with my corner rounder, and honestly, I'm going to say this again, the punches don't like the wet glue. You really ought to wait for the glue to dry. I'm messing up my punches. Look at that. It doesn't want to punch that because it's wet. Let's just get that glued paper out there. It's not coming off my finger even. Okay, so that's fine. There's enough of a guideline there for me to finish it off with a pair of scissors. isn't a happy punch when I use it on wet glue. Okay, let me put it aside. Okay, so that then is what I do with this. And then I just simply, again, that optional step of inking the edges. I do like the inked edges. And so I always ink the edges. There we go. That, as they say, is that. And these then can slide into the pocket left for it. Now I think, yes, they're not going to fit. And that has ceased to be a problem for me. I'm going to simply fold them so they're smaller. I couldn't print them smaller. I would have loved to have printed them smaller, but then they would have been illegible. So you've got to consider legibility as well. And I'm going to unfold them just now and talk about them a little bit. But, yeah, okay. I want to talk about them alongside the color wheel. Okay, so they are pretty much going to slide in here now. And that'll be their home. That will be where they live. Right along the color wheel. So let's put that aside. And we'll talk about this a bit. And then we'll move on. Okay, so open the first one. This is color theory. Color properties and harmonies. It tells you that you get your computer colors, CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. K is black. And RGB are your proper colors, red, green, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue. Why is it RGB? I don't know. Then you've got your grayscale and a couple of other things. The meanings of colors, the color properties, cool, warm, bright, dark, saturated, desaturated. And then some color harmonies, colors that work well together, primary, square, complementary, triad, analogous, tetradic, and these are all here on your color wheel. Tetrad, split complementary, complementary, and as you turn your color wheel, this top one, it is going to show you, for instance, if I go to yellow green, its complementary is red violet, its split complementary are red and violet, and if I do a tetrad on it, it is going to be red, orange, and blue violet. If I do the square, I'm going to have yellow, orange, blue, green, blue, violet, red, and so on. And you can literally just sort of follow those. Now it has here how to use the color relationship wheel. It talks about that you have a color, a tint, a tone, and a shade. It tells you here the harmonies are monochromatic or analogous, and I'm not going to read all of that because you can read it yourselves. Your pure colors are these ones here, and then it has here in the sideline, don't miss that, triadic, split complementary, complementary, split complementary, and triadic again. And here it explains complementary, split complementary, and triad to you. It also explains the tetrad to you. So it's all explained on the color wheel. I'm not going to read your color wheel. It's going to be right there. Okay, and then on this side, a guide to mixing colors. So that's your color harmonies, and on this side, it's the mixing of colors. Now they say how to use the color wheel. Select the color on the outside wheel, align it with the color on the inside wheel, and a mixture appears in the window. So if I go to, let's say, red and yellow is going to give me orange. Adding blue to red, orange. Adding white to orange. And on this side, yellow, orange, adding black is going to give me that. So you've got 4 going at any given time as you turn this wheel. Then you also have your gray scales and the values of your gray scales over here. And over here, that's 100% black to a value 10, which is white. So all black to all white and all the gray scales in between. And so especially when you're working with gray pencils, you can, well, any medium actually, but we've just recently worked with the gray pencils. Those are your scales, your value scales. What else do we have here? They explain primary, secondary, and tertiary colors for you. They explain warm colors, which are aggressive, advancing, and cool colors, which are receding, pushing to the back. So if you want to have a foreground, warm colors. If you want to have a background, cool colors. That's explained. Then they explain to you what hue, tint, tone, and shade is. The key color, the dominant color in a color scheme, the neutral gray, the intensity or chroma, the value. All of the language of color is explained on this thing. Okay. And if you did not follow that, if you struggle to follow that, these little papers have been printed to explain that. Color theory, cool colors, warm colors, primary, secondary, and so forth. It's pretty much doubling up what is on there. But yes, we all have a different way of looking at things and understanding things. So warm and cool colors. Over here, primary, secondary, and intermediate colors. And on this one, your color harmonies and your simple chart with your primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. So a little bit of a doubling up, but again, might just be what you need to understand the color wheel altogether. Right. So that's what we've got going there. Now, let me pause first and I'll come back and then I will deal with what we've got left here. Let me just pause first. Okay, hi, I am back and ready to continue with working on this page now. So it is now pretty dry. It will not be completely dry until tomorrow, but it's pretty dry. Now, I want to stencil on this page. So, using the stencils that I have that's provided in the packet, I'm just sort of looking at this. I want to say something like this, and you can stencil with anything. I mean, we've been stenciling with the 3D paste. You can stencil with your acrylic paint. You can stencil. I've recently seen someone stencil with watercolors, which is something I've never done before. But I'm sort of curious to try that now that I've seen it. You can stencil with a pen. You can stencil with inks. There's a variety of things that you can stencil with. I am going to opt for this. So this is my alcohol markers that I'm going to use. Oh, the black is a lid that is really not very compliant. Okay, there we go. I'm going to just say, this is the way we learned to stencil back in school. Capital D. Shall I go for small letters now? Let's stick with this. D. Oh dear. I should have given myself a line here to stencil on. Well, it's not the worst thing. Okay, it's actually not the worst thing if it's not exactly in line. DR, and let's do the Y. I'm just checking that they're in line. Dry. Now I want to do this one. B. O. N. E. S. Dry bones. No, yes, I thought as much. No, not here. Is there no comma? Oh, goodness. They've got everything except a comma. So let's make our own comma. I'm going to use the question mark to turn it into a bit of a comma. It's not 100% right. Now, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to say live live with an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark is really tiny, but never mind. Exclamation mark. Oops, it's right on top of it. Okay, then I'm going to come in with this stencil, and I'm going to say live again. And the reason is I have 3 people that I've mentioned. And I'm going to call all 3 of them to life. In the name of Jesus, of course. Live, yet again, exclamation mark. It's a pathetic exclamation. Let me just say it's a tiny little thing. I'm going to use that line, and we use the exclamation marks. Cheapers. Okay, let me not even bother. Live. I want that line to be longer as well. It does bleed, but we're going to stick something here, so it doesn't matter. We're going to stick another paper there. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with the 3rd stencil. And I'm going to call the 3rd person to life. L. I. V. E. I'm going to bother with the stencil. Live. Dry bones. Live, live, live. In my head, I'll add in Jesus' name. I'm not going to add it on paper. Am I going to? No, that's fine. I'm going to leave it as is. That's not the actual prayer. That's just the illustration of the prayer. Okay, so having done that, I am now going to look at my stencils again and sort of decide what I want to do next. I think I want to do this. I'm going to, my inks are lying here next to me from a previous project that I've been working on. Actually, I'm in the middle of that. It's the series that I'm doing on the prophecies of Jesus fulfilled, the Old Testament prophecies that's fulfilled in Jesus in the New Testament, well, in Jesus altogether. And so they're lying next to me because I'm actually still busy with that series, and I want to continue with it. Ooh, but I've got a huge brush that I'm doing this in. I'm working carefully not to go over the lines. And I'm just sort of sticking, I'm choosing elements on these stencils that I like to incorporate on this page. And now, this is, I'm just using black ink here. Certainly I could have gone for anything, but the writing here is in black, and that's kind of what I took my cue from. If I stick to the black, then it becomes a bit more of a unity than it would have been otherwise. Let me bring this one in here as well. No, it's too wide. Don't like that. That one, no. I'm looking for something. I like this, and the reason I like this, I'll talk to you about that. Shall I? Shall I? I think I shall. Let me then put my tape down, because I've just decided I actually want to do more of the stencil than just the single line that I initially thought when I looked at this. Oh dear. Bring this this one in here. Okay. So initially I thought I was going to do this toothed one. And I like that because the enemy is walking around like a roaring lion at this stage, seeing if he can devour my friends in my Bible study group. And well, we're not sacrificing them. We're not offering them up. And then I sort of looked at the rest of the stencil and I thought, why not put the whole thing down? Why not just go with the whole thing instead of just the toothed edge? I like that, so I'm doing that. Okay, and so when I lift this away, I'm going to have that. Okay, where's that black pen again? Oh goodness, the one that I'm struggling to open the lid off. I didn't used to struggle, and now I am, and yes, well, I am. Because I have allowed this girl to recede into the background, I am going to do something now to bring her out again. That's a skew line, never mind. Just to bring her a little bit to the foreground again, because she's gone a little bit too much into the background. Now, why do I say just a little bit? She's a prayer warrior. Prayer warriors are background people. They don't sit on the foreground. They're not the ones who attract the shine and the glamour and whatever it is. Prayer warriors, they do their thing in the quiet on the background. So I'm just pulling her out, back out again. I'm thinking I need to do something to bring all this back to life again. So I'm going to put the blending brushes and the stuff away. And I'm going to grab a hold of my white pens. And let me do this. And I'm going to do this freehand. In. Jesus. Name. Oh, I like that. And that it's white. It's calling the darkness into the light. I messed up here. Perfectly fine. I can probably wipe this off if I wanted. I'd still be able to. Look at that. That's why I messed it up, because I put my hand down in it. I could probably still lift it, either with alcohol inks or with alcohol or with water. I'm not going to bother. I'm trying to clean myself up a little bit before I take this mess further. Can you see it? It will still activate and lift, and I should be able to do it there, but I don't mind the mess, because this is a mess, and that's okay. That's okay. It works here. Now, here's the thing that I'm sort of looking at this. I looked at the toothed edge, and I thought about the lion walking around, or Satan walking around like a lion looking who he can devour. But I also like this kind of snake movement, but also the very straight path. So I want to get these guys back onto the straight and narrow. So in a sense, this pattern, and it wasn't intended to, but this pattern is saying to me, it's talking to me a little bit about the actual events that I am praying about here. So let me do this. And I'm specifically opting for crosses, because we need to die to ourselves so we can live in Christ. And now I am doodling, but I'm doing specific doodling with crosses. And nobody else has to understand your thought processes when you journal like this. Nobody even needs to know that there was thought that went into this. This is your personal thing. And you don't have to share it with anyone else. Why am I getting so confused in my words now? I don't know. I feel like I want to reference Ezekiel here. I do. So I'm going to. Ezekiel. I sure hope it's chapter 37. I haven't double checked myself. Here's a Bible at hand. It's a humongous Bible. Let's just check that chapter. Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. That's 37. There you go. Valley of Dry Bones. I did remember it correctly. Okay. Very happy with myself. Otherwise I would have had a mess to fix here. I want to lift this out a bit. Okay, so this is not part of the journal passages for this lesson. It's not one of the journaling passages. Our passages are all in the book of Acts. But this is my personal journaling passage that I'm going to add to this. I like how this turned out. There's more that I could do here, but I'm going to leave it as is. This is a proper mixed media page. Now, I know that off screen I'm going to, or off camera, I'm going to clean all of these stencils, but I will not do that on camera. I'm not going to do that to you. So for the purposes of this video, I'm simply going to pop them in there, and I'll get back to cleaning them later on. Let us continue. What's happening here? I'm missing a page here. Which, oh, this one. I've put it aside here because I didn't want to mess it up. Okay. There's another pocket there. I might opt to put my, no, I actually want this pocket to serve the next lesson, but I want to show you what I'm going to do with it since we stuck it down. It can go to this. If you've got stuff from this lesson that can go into this pocket, then by all means add another pocket. But if not, then it can go to the next lesson. I sort of try to keep pages and pockets separating each other just so that there's enough journaling space. So what have I done here? I have gone and I've stuck the pages together. I've made the top pocket, you all know that. And I've got half a page picture here. This is wonderful journaling space. Now, I had this empty page that I'd removed. Remember, I tore that one out and I actually mentioned it's a nice empty page. I've pulled it back out and I folded it double, and I want to use this page here as my journaling spot, my pocket. I want to make a pocket out of it. And so what I'm going to do, well, I need to cut it shorter. I mean, before I move the book over, can you see? I need to cut it shorter. And it can come, well, quite a bit shorter. It can go anywhere there. Okay. Pull this in. And I'm just going to cut it off there. And then I want to, I don't have a, oh, I do have a rounded thing. I want to put a bit of a rounded edge there. Is this enough? I think it might be. Okay, so I'm just lining that up properly. This is kind of a circle that I've got on the desk, and you're going to have a bottle or you're going to have a glass or something. Do I like that shape? I think it will work. We're going to cut it right along there and see if we like it. Bring it back. You see, we're making somewhat of a library pocket here. Could do it this way. Do we like that better? I think not. And the reason I don't like it better is because if it's this way around, anything that sort of wants to fall out is going to fall into the center of the book and not drop out. So I'm going to kind of leave it there. So now, let me ink it first, because the inks also don't like the glues. So I'll ink it first and then I'll glue it. Okay, so now I open it up and I bring my glue in. And I am gluing this down. Oh, dearie me. Come. And then only these two straight edges. all we glue. And we put it in place in our book. And there is our library pocket. Obviously it needs to dry properly first, but there's our library pocket essentially. Typical library pocket. And that's now ready to start playing on. Now, while I am busy with this, and like I said, I'm a little uncertain whether it's actually this lesson's one or the next lesson's. It doesn't really matter. It is our journal. I had pulled out 2 pictures from along with my pages that I tore out. And the one was this one. And the other one was this one. And I retrieved these as well. Now, looking at this, I don't want to use this one because it's been printed in black ink. And that is brown ink. Whereas this one has brown ink. And it makes for a better unity here. So what I'm now going to do, the rookery. I do not even know what that is. I am going to just fussy cut and not very fussily. I'm going to keep that word rookery. I don't know why. I have no idea what a rookery is. I'll have to Google it and find out. I'm fussy cutting, sort of fussy cutting. This is really not being tremendously fussy. Okay, that I can toss. You must be so happy that I'm finally tossing something. Okay. And then I have this picture, which I think am I going to write on the writing? Yes, I am going to put it right on the writing. Okay, so let me put that page aside. We didn't use it. At least not yet. So I'm bringing this little protective cardboard in here again. I will do it. I will do it like this. I'm going back to my decoupage medium, acrylic gel medium, Dala acrylic gel medium. I am a fan of Dala's products. I know everyone is not. But I like their products and I've had fantastic service from them over the years. They've been a great supporter of my own work. And they're fantastic supporters of young upcoming artists in South Africa. If you don't know what I'm talking about, follow them on Facebook. By the way, this is not a paid promotion. I'm not getting paid anything. I haven't been sponsored by Dala. But I think in acknowledgement of what they do for art in South Africa and not supporting the established artists, supporting, well, they may establish those, support those as well, but I'm talking specifically, to my knowledge, the support for young upcoming artists. And so for them, for that reason, kudos to Dala. And for the work they're doing, for the product they are delivering, for their continued support for South African artists, and for giving us affordable, good art products to work with. I like the acrylic gel medium for decoupaging with. Okay, so we will develop this further. But I'm going to leave it open here. All of this needs to dry. I may finish this later on. It's not necessarily my intention to do it as part of this lesson. It is hinging between lesson 4 and 5. So it can go either way. But I'm certainly going to leave it as is for now. That's it. That's my story. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next lesson where I should be starting with the acrylic painting, but as I've said, I'm still waiting for the brushes as well as the palettes to arrive. And if they've not arrived, then I'm going to carry on with one of the pastel drawings or things, but I might, in my scheduling of the videos, still have them in the correct order. Oh my goodness, why am I bugging you with issues that are not yours? I will see you in the next video, whichever it is. Cheers for now, guys. Bye.